I'm Luke Johnson, and I'm on the MA Professional Media Competition, the PMC.
Cool.
And I started in January.
That's good. So where did you come from before you started? What was your life like before?
Came from the womb. Well, I basically started in January, and before that I went to a college called Platform One, and it's actually on the Isle of Wight, and funny enough, it's affiliated with Chichester University, as is Thinkspace. So I left the army and basically did a BTEC in music performance, and then did a foundation degree and a BA honours degree, and it was in music technology. And then a few years went by of being in bands, and I've always wanted to get into film music and games and TV. So when I noticed Thinkspace existed, I jumped to the chance.
Cool. So is that why we're surrounded by stacks and stacks of guitar pedals and a mixing desk? So were you working with bands mostly then before this?
Yeah, I mean, the last time I played a gig was 2012, which was at the festival on the Isle of Wight, if anyone doesn't know that. And that was in a band called Southern Big Man that I'd got together, and it hasn't really gone anywhere because I was looking for players, and now I've been sucked into this world, and it's sort of taken a bit of a back burner and stuff. But before then, I was in different bands and recording local bands, just good demos rather than professional end release stuff. But yeah, always just band stuff, and in my own time, messing around with sample libraries in the very early days. But
where do you want to be taking that then? Where do you want to end up in your career?
I want to be making a living from music that I write.
Yeah.
That's essentially the dream, getting paid for something I love doing. And I'd still love to be in a band, but I just love the whole thing of how I love films. I love movies, and it's such a collaborative thing. Like, there's so many people, and there's so many artistic and creative decisions that everyone makes in film and TV as well now. I mean, shows like Breaking Bad, it's epic in scope. So I'd love to actually work on film and TV, adverts as well. Anything to make a living, to do this. To be fair, I mean, it's quite vast.
It's quite a different change though, isn't it? Because from being in bands, it's kind of like art for art's sake versus being an artisan and creating music. Yeah. So has that been challenging then for you to make that leap between the two?
If you're talking to me 10 years ago, it would have been very difficult, because I truly believed in you have to be able to play whatever you write, you have to be able to play it live, otherwise it's not valid and all that stuff. And I don't care anymore. I just love creating and writing music. So for me, if I want to write some music for myself, I just write music for myself. Like band music, for example. My last band, I wrote everything anyway. So if I want, I can just sit here and go, I'm going to write some music for myself. But as opposed to, at the minute, for example, I'm working on an advert for TV and haven't got the job yet, and hopefully I will. But it's not necessarily something I would write normally, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it because it's completely out of my comfort zone. It's a complete challenge to meet the deadlines, and it is writing music. So, you know, I have no complaints. Everything I write, I love writing. So, yeah, it hasn't been too much of a challenge, and I think that's wisdom with age.
Yeah.
I mean, just getting older, like I don't hold things precious like that.
Well, that's quite a nice link to a lot of the questions we get asked by people who are interested in taking one of the MAs is time. Yeah. And like, how much time is it going to take me to do the MA? But you're able to do some gigs outside of ThinkSpace as well, and do you do anything as well? Do you work?
Yeah, well, at the minute I work as well. Because that's the ultimate goal, to actually just make a living from music and anything creative. But at the minute I have to work. I am doing things outside of ThinkSpace, and it's all about time management. Yeah. It really is. Like, the deadlines just for the MA are insane, and I'm doing it part-time over 2 years, and I'm hoping, I'm brushing up on my music theory at the minute. Okay. So I can try and get on the MFA to do the orchestration course, which would mean I'm going to probably be a student for 3 more years. But I'm using that time to develop and stuff, but you can't just sit and leave everything to the last minute. Like, you've got to be on top of it. But for example, like I just said, I'm doing a TV ad, and it just came about through contacts over time, and what am I going to say? No. Yeah. I'm doing an MA to actually be, being taught so much stuff for this. I mean, finishing a module in writing to a brief exactly for this reason. And if a real life opportunity comes up, why even do this MA? So there's not a question of, oh no, I can't fit it in. You will fit it in. Otherwise, this probably isn't for you.
Yeah, but it is doable, isn't it? If you can work and do gigs and study, there is physical hours in the day to be able to do that.
You got to sleep 1 hour a night. Drink coffee, man. But it is down to time management, really. And you got to love it. You got to love doing this kind of thing. And it does take a certain type of person, I think. And, say goodbye to your friends for a bit.
Well, you kind of touched on music theory, and you weren't particularly strong beforehand.
Oh, completely weak. Play the C major scale, but I've now learned all my keys, and I'm trying to get into harmony and learn that. So I'm ready to try and learn orchestration, but for me it's a hell of a slog because I play everything by ear. So it's trying to marry the two worlds up. It's difficult.
Well, we've got a circle of fifths up on there. We've got some Madman musical theory scrollings on the wall over there. So how did that kind of come about? Where did you start learning that?
I played piano when I was young, but I got to grade 6 classical piano when I was about 12, and I didn't understand any of it. It's like learning grades for parrot fashion, and you go through this grade system, and it's just a load of nonsense. You have to understand, you have to be able to apply the theory. So basically starting this course and being around other students that are just complete mecons at theory, and they can just tell you what key something is just by hearing it in their head, and their ear training's incredible. And I don't just want to write just 3 chords on the guitar, and to be able to one day work with orchestras, but hopefully, if I ever get that opportunity, I don't want to come across as ignorant and not know how to speak in their language. And I want to be able to write, music that I think it's very important to have a grip on harmony. Yeah. Otherwise, your music is all vertically stacked as opposed to horizontal. And it came about from just looking at other students, just thinking, I need to sort my life out.
Well, then what is the student community like then, as ThinkSpace, if you're communicating like that? Because it's different from a traditional university.
Yeah, totally. And when I went to university before, I commuted, so I didn't live on campus or anything like that. I was too old for that kind of thing. But it is different just because everything's online. But we do talk on we got a Facebook Thinkspace group, and we got the website, obviously. But through talking to each other and so, everyone's so sound, and nobody's really precious about keeping hold of their tips and tricks. Like, everyone shares what they know, and because of that, we all are learning quite quickly. I think, like people that are amazing at theory don't tend to be amazing at the music technology side. The people that are really good at music technology aren't as good at the theory. So the two worlds collide, and hopefully, like in a couple of years, we'll all be at a similar level in that respect. Yeah. But everyone's really friendly. I mean, to the point where we just Skype each other now. Just say, oh, I've got a question about this, and just suddenly Skype call for 10 minutes, and it's a different type of campus, but it's amazing.
So did it take a while to adjust to that kind of environment, or do you prefer it to a traditional one? I do. Yeah.
Just because, I'm free to do what I want. Having to commute to another campus, or a campus, it's not the hassle of commuting or anything, but let's just say that we have to commute to a university and we're going to study music production, and they've just got Pro Tools HD. We learn all this, and then I come back home and I haven't got Pro Tools HD. So, essentially, what have I learned? So at least this way I can use my own studio, and I learn on my own gear, and, through everything can be applied through different things. But I love just actually not having to move house. It's a big thing. It's a huge thing. My partner, you suddenly get uplifters. She's going to have to find a new job, and it's just to go and get a degree. I prefer the online thing. Yeah, because you're always a phone call away. I phoned Guy yesterday, and he just gave me advice. And it's, if I wanted to, I could get the ferry and just come and visit you guys. But it didn't take long to adjust, especially when you realise everyone else is in the same boat.
Yeah, and everybody else. I mean, you could be from Isle of Wight, which, to be fair, is down the road from us. But you could be in Singapore and stuff like that. But that means you've got students and fellow student teachers and things like that.
Well, there's a good point actually, because where people are in California and Singapore and Switzerland, and there's always someone up if you need some help. There's always, through the time zones, there's always someone available, which is really good.
So what are the tutors like that you've dealt with?
Horrible.
Yeah, really nasty pieces of work.
Well, friendly and professional, man. You know, it's like I needed some advice on writing some superhero music yesterday, and who better to speak to than Guy Mitchell Moore, who has spent decades of his life doing superhero music for TV that earns a living from it. So rather than me go online and just trawl forums from people that may or may not know what they're talking about, you just instantly get some first-hand advice, which is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about the feedback? What's the feedback like that you get given?
Feedback, it's always, I haven't disagreed with much. Like, most of it has been spot on, and feedback that I don't understand, it's just down to my ignorance of, like, you should do this and this, and most of it comes down to, like, I did a piece recently that had to be 80% orchestra and 20% synthesizer. I don't know how to orchestrate, so there's a bit of a hurdle there to overcome. So when I get advice back saying use a certain fifth and a seventh there and stuff, like, I have to then go off and try and research how to apply that feedback. And so far, I mean, all the feedback I've had it's been pretty spot on for everything I've done.
So, like you say, you might get assignments that come in that aren't in your comfort zone and things like that, and it is about pushing yourself as a composer, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I only choose those.
Yeah,
I only do. I've been trying to avoid playing guitar on all my stuff because it's what I kind of do. So obviously I'm going to try the orchestral stuff because I don't know how to do it. Yeah. And even if I get a bad grade, which I haven't got any yet, to be fair, they've all been merits, and I've got A distinction, which is irrelevant. It's just like the grades have been all good. The feedback is what I'm after, and the experience, to be fair. And I try as much as possible to avoid the guitar, because for me, I can write a rock track in a day.
Yeah.
For an orchestral piece, I just sit here for about a month going, I don't know what to do.
So as a composer, can you see a difference from before you enrolled to how you are now? Yeah,
definitely. I'm a lot quicker as well.
Yeah.
A lot quicker at writing. And I'm not quick enough, like, to what I want. But the most I can do at the moment, fully fledged, it's difficult to quantify this, but something that isn't a drone that's an underscore in a TV show, like, a substantial amount of music. I probably do about 1.5 minutes now in a day if I really push myself. And whether it's good or not is a questionable thing, but before, no way could I do that. Maybe about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I doubt myself all the time. I'd sit there and just go, I don't know, is it good enough? Can I go there? Is it too cliched? Now I have the deadlines. It has to be in. So the choices are just sped up so dramatically.
Yeah.
You just go with that and go, right, that's the idea. I'm going to go with that now. And then let's hope in half an hour I still love it. And and that's the difference, really.
Well, now that you've actually not just done some deadlines for ThinkSpace, but had some deadlines for clients as well, do you find that matches up to the real world quite well? Or
Yeah, the deadlines do, definitely. And the funny thing, the writing to a brief module is interesting because, I mean, this isn't, I'll just improvise saying, the brief is, we want it big, but it must be small.
Yeah.
Loud but soft.
Yeah.
And it has to be uplifting but very dark. And then you go, cool, man, I'll get on with it. And it's quite similar. We want it to be superhero music, but it can't be cheesy. It's like, it's kind of difficult to do that. Especially when you watch the video footage and it's everyone dressed up in wetsuits.
Yeah.
And you just think, okay, I don't know how to approach this. So I don't know. I guess you've got, through experience, you have a judgment call, and I hope you get the job and stuff. But in regards to the deadlines, it's very similar.
Yeah.
In my brief experience so far.
No. So what kind of projects have you been dealing with? Have you got any favourite ones that you've delved into?
I've done a short film for a friend, and I love. It's called It by Benny Curtis, and I love doing that. And I basically did that before I was on the course, actually, and it's what kind of got me into wanting to get into the whole audio to video side and learning how that works. I'm about to start a 16-minute short, and it's a suspense film, and it's just being cut at the moment. I've worked on a film that's getting released next year, and I can't really talk about
That's
it.
fine.
But yeah, I play guitar on it, and or play guitar for someone to act over it, and yeah, just doing some advert work at the moment on top of the ThinkSpace stuff. So things are looking up.
Yeah,
slightly.
Well, do you feel better prepared then, from previously enrolling?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've got a much better handle on the music tech side of things. I'm okay with anyway, and always getting better. But it's the speed. It's knowing what sounds to go to that work with certain things. It's knowing how to build a template if you need a template for something, so you can save so much time just by having, right, I know I'm going to need strings, I've already panned them, I've reverbed them, everything's all ready. I don't have to do everything every single time, and you spend half the day doing that and learning all that kind of stuff. And I mean, before you do something, you can have an idea in your head and think, I'm definitely going to need 10 legatos, I'm definitely going to need 20 brass, and then you go and do this piece and you go, I don't need any strings, I don't need brass or anything, I just need that snare, and the experience is coming, but I have a lot to learn still.
Well, as an MA student as well, you don't just have access to the MA program, you get access to all the premium courses as well. And you in particular got to go through some of the sound design courses as well. How was that for you?
I keep revisiting it because there's so much in there, and I loved it. Like it's just, I don't know, it's tweaking audio and like I love it. You're just sitting there and days go by. But learning how when you watch a film trailer or a film and you think, how do they make that sound, and how does it all gel together with the acoustic instruments? And I found it really interesting, especially considering, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is now on how much music is electronic, but sound design is here to stay. And, the orchestral, acoustic music and electronic, it is here and it's never going to go. So it's either sink or swim, and I want to learn how to be good at it.
Well, that's the attitude you should have, because I remember when you handed in your sound design assignment and it did literally come in, Tim listened to it, and then everybody got called into Tim's room,
well,
and we all listened to it and went, oh, okay, we need to get this in a library somewhere. But it was that kind of environment that we want our students to be. We want them to progress. We want them to do new things and do exciting things that we haven't thought about yet.
Yeah, I think just as a musician, nothing to do with ThinkSpace or anything, just a musician should push themselves to try new things and not just sit in a comfort zone all the time. And on that piece, the titanium oil track, I just sat in here for a couple of days having a think about it, and I got the Black & Decker power drill out, and I just started just making weird drone noises and sound effects with it, and it's amazing. You can lose yourself in that world, and it's only going to get worse. I'm going to turn into Gollum in the next few years because I'll never see sunlight. But it's highly creative, and I mean, this is the whole thing with sample libraries. They're great and limiting, but they're wicked to have these sounds at your disposal. But you've got to get in there and tweak them, I think, because everyone else has got them.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem, isn't it? Everyone sounds the same otherwise.
Well, a big thing of what we push is identity as a ThinkSpace student. Is we don't teach you to be John Williams, because there is a Johnny Williams and he's the one who he's the one who takes the gigs. Yeah. So do you feel like your identity has got stronger?
I feel I'm always only going to do my thing. Yeah. It sounds selfish, but I know you have to actually cater for what if you get a brief and then we need it in the style of blues guitar, and you go, I'm not doing that, I'm going to turn it into electronic dance music. It's going to sound like Aphex Twin. You're not going to get the job. So you've actually got to, you're not the rock star, you work for other people, and I like that because it's part of the big vision. But I always try and do something dirty. I try and do something with the guitar pedals, so it's not just all in the box and everything that everyone, run it through the synthesizer pedals, or run it through the desk just to reamp it, or do something that kind of changes. And so I'm trying to find my way with it, but I'm also really interested in trying things that I can't do. So my music's hit and miss. Sometimes I love what I do, but I realise how much more I have to learn and get
music's
there.
A huge exercise in trial and error of finding what you can do and what you can't do and playing to your strengths.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I suppose as well, what would be quite nice from your perspective, as someone who's kind of almost halfway through in a way of your course.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who's just enrolling now?
Have some money, buy some libraries. No, I'm just messing around. Make sure you set time for the work.
Yeah.
Don't let it mount up, because all of a sudden when you've got 2 days and you've got to write 3 pieces of music at 3 minutes each, and it can't just be filler, it's problematic, man. Like you've got to manage your time. And also, don't buy stuff. Just don't buy everything that you see.
Yeah.
Do your research before, because it's a money pit. It's, you can spend hundreds of thousands on software and maybe not ever use any of it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing that I do. I don't buy anything unless I've researched it, and then I'll research it for months, and then it's very rare that there'd be a spontaneous buy.
Yeah.
But time management, and just don't listen to everything online.
Yeah.
I think that's solid advice, really.
Great. Well, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of you in the future.
Yeah,
and stuff
I hope
like
so.
that. But yeah, thank you very much, Lou.
Yeah, no,
That's
wicked,
really
man.
cool. Cheers.